Hello. Hopefully I've pressed the right link this time. Type say hello in the box, please. How's everyone doing? Kerry, hello there. Kelly, hello. Long time no see. How's life? I think this is going to be one of those tours today. I'm all tongue-tied. Linda, how's it going? Nice to see you again. I think I'm a little bit discombobulated today for some bizarre reason. Lethargy, how you doing? Hello there. Peter, Christopher, how's it going, my man? Oh, it's getting used to this app. Changing it. Hello. It goes so crazy, it's a delay. Oh, it's got an echo. Is it because you've got two things on, no? Sarah. Candy, Fran. Hello, Sarah. Yeah, I don't know if it's... What's happened here? Oh, it's not changing around now. Oh. There we go. Lynn, how's everyone doing? Cindy, Fran, Nan, Arlen, hey everyone, how's it going? Beautiful day today in Edinburgh. Yesterday was a beautiful day as well, but we had a thunderstorm last night. I missed it, unfortunately. I love thunderstorms, but I missed it. So yeah, we had a thunderstorm. I think it was about midnight or something. Thunder and lightning, which we don't get very often in Edinburgh, to be honest. Well, 1 second, what's going on with my gimbal? Whoa, my gimbal's went funny. Come here, come back, gimbal. What's going on? There we go. Hopefully it's getting there. It was just going a bit crazy there. I don't know what's going on with it. Still getting used to this YouTube app. What's it called? Prism. Is the sound and quality okay? Looks not too bad here. The signal was good yesterday. I had good signal yesterday. You just never know with this app. Or YouTube. I don't know what it is. So welcome to the Union Canal. I'm just trying to get out the sun. The one thing I really don't like about the winter is the low sun. It just goes right in your eyes. It's so annoying. Believe it or not, I've got sensitive eyes, everybody. I'm a little sensitive soul. I've got sensitive eyes. Whatever that means. Yeah, I don't like the sun in my eyes. I have to wear sunglasses if I'm driving and so on. How's life in the fast lane, everyone? Everyone having a good morning or a good evening or a good day so far? Hopefully you're all having the day before Valentine's Day. Oh. In fact, we've got the bones of St. Valentine in Glasgow. St. Valentine was a real person, of course, and some of his relics ended up in Glasgow. Of all places to end up. You can see these buildings here. Suzanne, hey, Bonnie, how's it going? Hey, did you happen to see the most beautiful girl that walked out on me as usual? These horrible buildings here. They're all, I'm assuming it's student accommodation. It's horrible, cheap, nasty buildings, aren't they? This panelling and all that. So we're in the West End area of Edinburgh. This is the Tollcross, Fountain Bridge region, they call it. Fountain Bridge, it moves into Tollcross. This building you can see here is a school, actually. It's quite a modern school, as you can see by its appearance. Slightly better looking than the buildings next to it. It's got fake stone on the front. The stone on the front is probably like about 3mm thick. So slightly better improvement. Oh, Fran, you were on the Union Canal, but you didn't get as far as Edinburgh. On a narrow boat. Ah. We have missed you. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I haven't been, the last couple of months I hadn't been doing many virtual, ever since my sister died. I was too bloody upset to do it, because she used to come on all my tours, you know. But, hey ho, we are where we are. And plus I need to start doing tours, because over the winter you forget all the information. Well, you don't forget all the information, you just have to keep yourself fresh. So I thought I better start doing tours before the season starts. You forget like the dates, the years and things like that. Hey Pizzazz, are you here? Oh, it's a cold wind. Beautiful sunny day, as you can see here in Edinburgh. Little boats here. Nice little houses overlooking the canal. How's everyone doing anyway? There seems to be a lot more boats than there was the last time I was here. I've not been here for about a year or so. I don't think, something like a year. I've not been here. There seems to be a few more boats now. I know more people are living on there. Look, there's a boat named after you, Suzanne. Mischief. Yes, it goes all the way to Glasgow and via the Falkirk Wheel, the canal. Built in the early 1800s, actually. It's when a lot of Irish came over to help build the Irish navvies, they were called. And they came over in their droves, looking for work in Scotland. A lot of them stayed in Glasgow, of course. This is before the famine, or so-called famine, I should say. Excuse me, the swan's getting fed. I've been in a boat before. With my dad got married for the second time in one of these barges. It was a restaurant thing. Look, there's more of them, look. Yeah, the bloody Falkirk Wheel, I find the Falkirk Wheel extremely boring. Let's get a few more boats here. The swans are getting fed here. See, hello swans. The swans getting fed. Look at the name of the boat. That one's called Why Not? Why not indeed? It seems to be a few more than was the last time I was here. I don't know if I would like to stay next to a canal. I think it'd be quite good, but you get a lot of people hanging about at nights and all that, you know, teenagers and students. I mean, some of them have seen better days. This one looks not too bad. Did everyone find this okay? Did I click on the proper link this time? I think I did. I think that... There's my Bessa. Slimbridge. I mean, look at that thing. Wouldn't like to stay on that. This is a social enterprise, this one here. This is called the Reunion Canal Boat's a social enterprise. So you can hire it. Yeah. See here. Reunion. Available for hire. In fact, Invisible Cities went on this last year. I got invited onto it last year. Well, I've actually been invited onto that at least twice through the Grass Market project and Invisible Cities. They take out like, in fact, one of the little tour guides, well, one of the tour marshals from Invisible Cities, he got taught how to drive the boat. So they do things like that, you know. I don't like this path too much. It's shared with cyclists, you know. There's a maintenance boat over there. A little camper van over there. Little Volkswagen. That's what mine was like before I got it painted green for Hibernian. Good to go up it. Did you enjoy it? I thought it was extremely boring. You can't see what's going on. I actually ended up with my tour groups. I ended up staying off the boat and filming it for them. Because you can't see nothing going on once you're on the boat, on the Falkirk Wheel. It's daft. In fact, it got such bad reviews, we binned it last year. It didn't get good reviews at all. Calm down, pal. Can some of these cyclists are idiots, man. Look, see, this is what they must have been building. So it shows you how long I've not been here. These weren't here the last time I was here. Look. These have just all sprung up in a year. Hundreds of houses. The little cafe seems to have been abandoned as well. This was a wee cafe, it had tables and all that, remember? Had little tables and all that. Outside, watershed. It seems to be abandoned. It's all gone. Unless they're just closed for the holidays, but it's the school holidays here just now. So you think they've either taken time off because they've got kids, or the businesses went bust, I'm not sure. And this seems to be a new one as well. I've not seen this one before. Panacea. I've not seen that one before. Running on sustainable HVO fuel. It's a project that's for people in recovery. It's called the Sorted Project, see here. So there's two of them now that's on the boat, that's good. So if you're in recovery and you're looking for new experiences, you can come on board the Panacea and learn new skills and connect with nature and join the crew. Excellent, isn't it? So that seems to be two little social enterprises now, working with different community groups and so on. So that's the homeless people, people in recovery and so on. So that's quite cool. So they're doing that. So why am I at the Union Canal? You thought it was great, aye. Some people thought it was good, but didn't just get good reviews. Look at that. Drops of brandy from Falkirk. Aye, why am I on the Union Canal? Well, this tour is about Burke and Hare. William Burke and William Hare. Water Witch. Look. Water Witch. Yeah, Burke and Hare, Burke and William Hare were Irish navvies, they called them. They come over to look for work in Scotland. They did work together on this Union Canal in 1818, but they didn't meet here. Although they both worked on the canal, they did not meet here. They met actually in Pennycook, which is a town outside Edinburgh in Midlothian, Pennycook. They met doing the harvests. So a lot of the people back in these times would move with the harvest for work. And Burke had actually abandoned his wife and children back in Ireland. He was a Catholic. But his father-in-law had land, and they wouldn't give him the land. They got the land from season to season. But Burke wanted all the land permanently signed over to him. But his wife's father said, no, if I sell you that land, you will sell the land and abandon my wife, your daughter, his wife. So William Burke fled to Ireland, from Ireland to Edinburgh, leaving his wife and children behind. What a cad. She never came looking for him, right enough, so remember that tells you a lot. There's another little boat there. Soul Sisters, Cheryl there. You're watching at the hairdressers. Hey, look at that boat. The Four Sisters. The Four Sisters. Boatel, it's called a boatel. A boatel. There you go. Oh, there's a boat called the Camellia. I wonder if it's named after Prince Charles's, King Charles's wife. Luxury static self-catering accommodation. So you can actually stay on that boat there. Doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there. I'm assuming there used to be a guy who lived there with a dog who always barked all the time. I don't know if it's still there. I've seen the dog or the guy. But this was made for the millennium. They extended it. When this canal was built, actually, they were going to take it all the way down to Leith, to the docks, through the town, through the Waverley Market, Waverley train station. Well, that wasn't there then, of course, when this was built. But yeah, in fact, the street behind Waverley Station is called Market Street. Well, that's the line the canal was going to take, and that used to be called Canal Street after this canal, the Union Canal. It's called the Union Canal because it connects Glasgow and Edinburgh, uniting the two cities. So Burke and Hare did not meet here. but they did work here at the same time. Hey Dan, how's it going? How's life? Look at the swans, quite nice sculptures, aren't they? Surprised somebody's not stole them and sold them for scrap. You're getting your roots done. I'm going back to my roots, yeah. So there you go. Fancy coming to Edinburgh and staying on a boat? The Four Sisters Boatel. Capacity for 6 adults and 2 children. 4-star. 4-star. Wow. A nice day, but look at the sun in the sky. It's quite cold, but it's a cold wind. It's not as windy as yesterday. Yesterday was a really cold wind. It's not as bad today. It's not as windy today, but it's still quite cold. Cold wind. It's about 1. I think it's about 1 Celsius. Something like that. 1 Celsius. So this here is called Fountain Bridge. The tour today is about Burke and Hare, the so-called body snatchers. 2 of the most infamous body snatchers in the world. There's only one problem. They never snatched a single body. They weren't resurrectionists. They never stole a single penny. They never stole a single penny. They never stole a single body. How did the story start? Well, Burke and Hare, they met through their wives. Well, Burke had got a lady in Edinburgh who he called his common law wife, as they were known, even though he was married back home. Hare's wife, she had been left a guest house after her husband died. So she had a guest house. So Burke and his wife moved into the guest house beside Hare and his wife. They both were alcoholics, basically. Guy going down the road there singing on his bike. Look at this old archway that's left. See it? This is where the meat market used to be. The building that was there behind it got taken down. They had to take, when this area got redeveloped. It was like the 1980s onwards they kind of started developing this area. It's over 100 years it was there then. And everything was taken down, but I'm assuming the arch was listed, so they've had to put back the arch. They've put back the arch. I remember the building, because my friend just lived over there. But I can't remember what the building looked like. I'd have to go online to see it. Obviously it's all new office buildings now. This is the heart of the financial district in Edinburgh. Edinburgh's got the 5th largest financial district in the whole of Europe, with over £1 trillion of assets here in Edinburgh. For some reason, people trust Scottish people with their money. And knowing Scottish people as I do, I'm not sure how we got that reputation. We did invent an overdraft, of course, and the ATM, and the modern economic system as well was obviously Adam Smith, and so on, all the great philosophers and engineers and learned people in Scotland. So, yeah, people trust us to look after their money. I don't know if this building was here the last time I was here. Was that building there? That building must have been under renovation, I'm not sure. It's all insurance companies, investment companies, banks around here. I used to do maintenance for the Bank of Scotland, and yeah, I spent a lot of time in this area. I worked for the Bank of Scotland doing maintenance for 6-7 years, and they've got quite a lot of buildings, the Bank of Scotland, in this area, so I spent a lot of time here. But see this building here? This is Art Deco, built in the 1930s It's houses inside it. There's actually a swimming pool inside it. In there, by the way. Look, it's covered in scaffolding. Oh, by the way, this is a story to tell. This is Lothian Road. So this street here. So at the bottom of down there is Princes Street, okay? So that's the west end of Edinburgh, Princes Street, okay? And this is Toll Cross. So this street here, from all the way up there, goes up to Bruntsfield, in the King's Theatre, and all the way down to Princes Street. Do you know, this road was made in one day. One day, in 1784. A naval clerk decided to make a bet, right, with one of his friends, and the bet was that he could make the street wasn't here. There wasn't a street, okay? It was just all buildings, like houses, barns, stables, little sheds, basically, all the way down here. And he bet one of his friends that he could make this area into a road nearly 1 mile long in just one day. So how did he do it? Well, at the crack of dawn, it was in the winter, so there was a lot of men who were unemployed in the winter, before the harvest, the crops were in. So he went down to the bottom of the hill, where Bum the Dog is, you know Bum the Dog statue, St Cuthbert's. But yeah, that street was made in one day. Can you believe that? Obviously it's been a bit more developed since then. That was in 1784. Oh hey Barbie! Are you not on your way to Cuba? Barbie's on vacation today, everyone. In her Spanish skills in Cuba. She's going to be smoking a big... Okay, so back to Burke and Hare. So this Burke and Hare are living together in a guest house. They both like a drink. They both liked a fight. And they were both basically what we would call today domestic abusers. They would like beat up their wives, attack them and so on. They weren't very nice men at all. Anything else got buffering, is it? Doesn't say it's buffering here. Leaving for the airport. It's okay now, is it? I never showed up here. There's another new place. I've not been in this area for about a year. I don't think that place was there. Fat Boys, smashing burgers. Yeah, strange, it was buffering. Hopefully it's away just now. Look here. In fact, Barbie doll. Look, there's baby dolls. Stripper bar. Fine now, strange, eh? So there's one stripper bar on one corner. Another stripper bar here. Actually named after Burke and Hare. Lap dancing, see? Burke and Hare. And over there is another strip bar, the Western Bar. So that's 3 stripper bars on each corner. So this area is called the Pubic Triangle. The Pubic Triangle. In fact, they've actually just tried to close them all down. Twice the council have tried to close the stripper bars down. I've got mixed opinions on the stripper bars, to be honest, because the girls make money, you know, and then there's quite good security in the bars, you know, so some of the girls are single mothers, and it suits their lifestyle, doing lap dancing, so yeah, I've got mixed opinions on it. I don't like to see anyone exploited, however. Was it Mark that wanted a red light district tour? Oh aye, is Mark here today? I don't know if Mark's here. Mark, are you here? Reveal yourself. He's going to be working today, I'm not sure. Oh, he's here. I never saw you come in, Mark. Oh, well, you got your little red light tour then, Mark. The pubic triangle. Sometimes I tell people on the tour bus that. Depends, you know, I gauge what the reactions are. And because sometimes it might not be appropriate for some people to talk about the pubic triangle, you see. Especially if you've got kids, but I tend not to have kids on my tours. Oh, I've got an itchy eye. Oh, by the way, if anyone's seen the TV series Crime, there's a TV series on ITV. It might be on BritBox, Irvine Welsh, Crime. This is the building that's used for the police headquarters. This brutalist, horrible building here, Argyle House. Do you know what I do on my coach tours? As we're coming up towards this, I tell people to get their cameras ready. I get them all excited. And I say, if you look out on the right hand side, quick, get your pictures ready now. And it's this big horrible building. I like to wind up my people on my tour buses. You've got to keep them on their toes, you know. Hey, Sandy. Aye, so Burke and Hare, they're in the guest house. They both like to drink. They're both domestic abusers. They're both violent men. And one of the lodgers has got a guy called Donald. Get a castle up there, poking through. Well, one of the lodgers was called Donald. And he was due £4 in rent, which was a lot of money. And he was very ill, Donald. And he actually died. Right? So you're going to go back to the year as 1828, okay? 1828. Now, from the 1700s, from the middle of the 1700s, Edinburgh was one of 3 major anatomical centres in Europe. There was one in Vienna, Edinburgh, and I think Germany was the other place, Germany. But don't quote me on that, I might be mistaken. And yes, so Edinburgh was one of 3 main centres for the studying of anatomy. Okay, so at this time there was 500 medical students in Edinburgh. 500. The castle poking through again. 500 medical students. And every one of these students had to dissect a body. Okay, to qualify, to become a qualified doctor, you had to dissect a body. You've got 500 students every year needing a body. And the only bodies they could use was bodies of executed prisoners, or someone who died in prison, suicide victims, and orphans. Look at the Cat's Cafe. Maison de Moggy. You got to pay £10 an hour. Sit with the cats. Look, oh, it's £12 that's went up. So it's £12 and you go in with a cat. It's all cats. Oh, there's one cat up there. Here's a cat. Can you see it sitting up on the shelf? A cat up there. The one in Glasgow, right, they have rescue cats. I don't know if these cats are rescue cats. I can only see one cat. I don't know where the rest of the cats are. I can only see one cat. And yeah, so there was loads of, there was grave body snatchers, right? There was body snatchers in Edinburgh, right? There was 3 main gangs actually. Some of the students actually used to kill, steal the bodies as well. Some of the students would steal the bodies. There was professional gangs who were stealing the bodies to sell them. And then the third lot of people were the grave diggers themselves, because the grave diggers were quite lowly paid. So you've got the students, because you had to pay for education, so the students would either steal a body and use it for themselves, or they would steal a body and sell it to pay for their education, because unlike today, education wasn't free back in these times. And this is where the house was. This is where the house was here. It's all gone, of course. But this is where the guest house was, where they killed 9 people in the guest house. See, it's all gone. But this is where they was. £12 is a bit steep, just to stroke a pussy. Well, I'm saying nothing on that one. So this is this area here. I get myself into trouble too much. So this is where the house was, the guest house was. And so yeah, people had started stealing bodies, okay? And we'll talk more about that later on once we get to the graveyard. But Burke and Hare never robbed anybody. They were called resurrectionists. But Burke and Hare were never body snatchers. Even though they're called body snatchers, they never snatched a single body. So Donald died. One of their tenants died, owing £4, and that was a lot of money in the days. That was like 6 months' wages. And Hare invited Burke in for a drink one night. When Donald had just died, he was beginning to smell, and Hare suggested to Burke that they sell the body, right? And obviously there was doctors and medical students in Edinburgh who were buying the bodies, no questions asked. So Burke agreed. It was pretty low on funds. It was late winter, 1827. So the body was starting to decompose. So eventually they put him in a box or a barrel and sold him to Dr. Knox. Now Dr. Knox will become infamous in the story. And they got £7 and 10 shillings for the body. £7 and 10 shillings they got for giving the doctor the body. The castle, look at that. Enbrawl Castle. Get past the sign. You can take screenshots on this. Don't ask me how you do it, but you can take screenshots on here. So the £7, 10 shillings. Hare took the £4 that was due for the rent, and they split the rest between them. And that lasted them for a few months until they drank it, basically. Hare did buy a couple of pigs and a horse and a maid, but basically they drank the money. And then it was February 1928, and there was an old lady passing through, a lady called Abigail, just passing through on her way to meet her daughter, she said. She was quite elderly and infirm, and again, Hare invited Burke in for a drink, and Abigail was still there, obviously, and she's been having a couple of drinks as well, and basically she fell asleep. They all had a party, fell asleep, woke up the next day with a hangover and started drinking whiskey again. And Abigail was snoring. She had fallen in a heap on the floor, and Hare suggested to Burke that they do the same to Abigail as what they did to Donald. But the difference was Abigail was alive. Okay, that was a completely different scenario. But anyway, Hare didn't have any money. He just pawned off all his clothes for a couple of pennies. He was a cobbler as well. He used to repair shoes. Burke actually trained to be a cobbler in Leith. And so basically they murdered Abigail. They got her drunk, and the method they used to kill her was pretty simple. They got her drunk as a skunk. Their last night alive was great, You had a party, singing and dancing, lots of whiskey. You get drunk and incapacitated. Hare would suffocate you. He would cover your mouth and your chin, your mouth and your nose, and Burke would lay on top of them. And the method was called Burke murders, although Hare was the instigator. Hare was the instigator. They were called Burke murders. And then, so they took the body to Dr. Knox, the pub, the last drop. So they used to hang people here, hence the last drop. So they got £10, £5 each. However, Burke had to give £1 to Hare's wife for the use of the house for killing the person. Burke was a bit cheesed off with that, to be honest. But at the end of the day, £4, quite a lot of money, did I say? 4 months' wages, something like that, 5 months' wages. So he was quite happy with his £4. This is where they used to hang people as well. Public execution, 1784. They stopped hanging people here. You see the outlines of the gallows. Yeah. And yeah, so this is what they've done in a 10-month period. It's reckoned they killed 16 people using the same method. And one of their mistakes, they killed a young boy called, now bear in mind this is the guy's name, I'm not saying this, this was the language that was used at the time. They took in a boy called Daft Jamie, okay? He had some kind of disability. He had walking problems, and he was what they would call back in these times a little bit simple. Okay, obviously had some kind of disability. And he was quite a powerful boy. He was very well known in the area. And they decided to get him drunk, and they tried to use the same method, okay? Get him drunk, Hare lying on top of him, suffocating him, and Burke laying on top of him, stop him from moving. Well, Jamie put up a big fight, okay? Jamie put up a fight. He didn't go quietly, shall we say. But Burke and Hare, they overpowered them, and eventually they killed him. But when they sold him to the doctor, bear in mind, Edinburgh was a walled city at this point. Okay, Edinburgh was a completely walled city. So a lot of people knew lots of people, okay? And because the guy was called Daft Jamie, he was quite well known. So when the Dr. Knox started to dissect him in Edinburgh University, some of the students recognised the boy. Some of the students recognised Jamie, but they were too scared to say anything to the doctor because his reputation was good, you know. So Dr. Knox cut off his leg, his ankle, so he could kind of hide. So he could hide the fact it was Jamie, and they also dissected his face to hide the fact that it was Jamie. But some of the students were getting suspicious. And what happened, they killed another lady, and she was what we would call a sex worker today. And obviously some of the students knew this girl. Some of them had used her services, shall we say. And they recognised her as well. And how did they get caught? Well, the last victim, they had relatives staying with them. Let's see, I'll just figure out the way. I hear the Harry Potter dudes. So popular, Harry Potter. In fact, I'm doing a Harry Potter tour on Friday. Lots of kids. They got caught. The last victim, somebody saw, because what they did, they killed the lady, right? And they just put her under a bed in the room. And she was spotted. Somebody saw her. So Burke and Hare quickly removed the body and sold it. But by this time the police were getting suspicious. Oh, I'm just getting a bit out of breath here. Look at the beautiful skies. It's a beautiful day, but it's cold. So the police arrested Burke and Hare and the two wives, but to be honest, there was not much evidence. The bodies were all gone. They got the last girl, but there wasn't much evidence, right? So Hare, the Crown, decided to offer Hare a deal. They said they would give him a pardon if he told them what happened. So Hare turned what we would call King's evidence, okay? And he basically he struck a deal with the authorities. In exchange for a pardon, he told them about all the murders, the 16 murders that took place in a 10-month period. So Hare and his wife were put on trial. Hare's wife was found not proven. In Scotland we've got 3 verdicts, okay? We have guilty, not guilty, and not proven. Okay, so his wife was found not proven. There wasn't enough evidence. And Burke was sentenced to death on Christmas Day. He was kept in Calton jail. And he was sentenced to death on Christmas Day. Burke. Quite cruel. He had turned back into religion in prison. He had actually went to church. And he was a Catholic in Ireland. But he'd actually started going back to church again. Obviously his crimes were playing on his mind. And one of the priests recognised him from back home in Ireland. And he got excommunicated by the church because he refused to go back to his abandoned wife in Ireland, remember. So Burke was excommunicated by the Catholic Church. He was hung a few days later, middle of winter in January, and 40,000 people turned up for the execution. His body was publicly dissected. The authorities decided that he was such an evil man, he didn't deserve to get buried. So he was publicly dissected. His body is on show today. They've still kept his body. In fact, I'll show you a picture actually. 1 second. There we go. I'll see if I can find something to put this. I'll show you a picture of him. His body is on display. You can go and see it. It's in the Anatomical Museum. Just around the corner actually. 1 second, everyone. Yeah, so you can go and see his body. I went on a tour a few years ago to see his body. Whoa! So you can go and pay to see his body. And it was quite spooky, right? Because last year, watch, I'm going to show you a picture. A couple of years ago, I bought a book on Burke and Hare, right? There's a girl who does tours. So here's Burke. 1 second. See that? There's Burke. So see the lady who wrote it, Janet Philp. She does the tours. So when I was with Invisible Cities, we got a free tour. So she gave us a tour, and that's what. But they took a mask when he was alive. Actually, they went to prison and took a face mask of him. So that's what he looked like. Yeah. And when I bought that book, right, a couple of years ago, immediately the day after I bought it, the Anatomical Museum started following me on Twitter. How nuts is that? How spooky. The day after I bought the book, the museum followed me on Twitter. There he is there, look. Where is it? This is quite strange. I see him there in the cage. So he's been there since 1928. They took a pint of blood out of his head and wrote some letters with it. And they took some of his skin and made wallet covers, wallets and book covers from his skin as well. Nobody knows what happened to Hare. Some people think he became a beggar in London, and some people think he fled back to Ireland. But nobody really knows what happened to him. So quite strange, eh? And Sir Walter Scott, actually, our national author, he got to read the confession. They made the confessions. Both Burke and Hare made confessions. And there is a bit of debate between the two of them of the order in which the people were killed. Okay? Some say that Abigail was first and Donald was second, and vice versa. But anyway, the outcome was Burke got publicly dissected, and you can go and see him today in Edinburgh if you like. So that was in 1928, okay? So what happened was people started to copy them, right? The Burke murder spread throughout England. It went as far as down as London. In fact, Natalie, you know Natalie from London, the French girl, she was telling me that they used a slightly different method in London when they killed them. They got the person drunk, like Burke and Hare, but instead of suffocating them, they would drown them in a barrel or a bucket of water. So slightly different method. So they decided to change the anatomy law. But these are like mort safes. Obviously, when people were stealing the bodies, the relatives, I mean the ones that could afford it, most people were not buried in coffins, of course. But the ones who could afford coffins, their relatives would put booby traps inside them, like Venus flytraps, dynamite, and they would put mort safes over Natalie. Yes, that's the one. And these are called mort safes. So they would put these over the coffins until such times as the body was past the stage of decomposition. Okay, and obviously in the winter, the bodies would last quite long. There's a person waiting on me. But in the summer, the bodies wouldn't last very long at all. So they also built little huts. See that hut building right there? So they would put little huts in they would hire security guards, night watchmen, to guard the graves and stop the body snatchers. But as I said, Burke and Hare never snatched a single body. So as the murders started to spread around Britain, the authorities decided, oh look, we've better do something about this. So they changed the Anatomy Act, okay, in 1932. So they extended the range of bodies that could be used. Okay? God, that's a pint of sticks. They went over the top, you can tell the kids are on holiday. Look, Bobby's grave's got lots of sticks. Aye, so they extended the people that could get used for dissection purposes. So if you died in hospital, they could use you. The one that still exists today, actually, was they changed the Anatomy Act so you could donate your own body. And that still exists today. And seemingly the first people who donated their bodies was in fact doctors, people who worked in the medical field. And Dr. Knox, what happened to Dr. Knox? The guy who was buying all the bodies. Well, nothing ever happened to him. He was disgraced, his reputation was in tatters. He did actually have to move to London because of it. But yeah, he never got anything. He never got like arrested or nothing like that. Hey Bobby, look, tell the tourists stop rubbing your nose. Let's see if they'll rub his nose, look. They're all staying back from him. She's going up to rub his nose. Look. Don't rub his nose. It's fake. Yeah, there was a local poem read, made about Knox. Up the close and down the stair, in the house with Burke and Hare. Burke's the butcher, Hare's the thief. Knox the man who buys the beef. Burke and Hare, they were a pair, killed a wife and didn't care. They put her in a box and sent her off to Dr. Knox. Burke's the butcher, Hare's the thief. Knox the one that buys the beef. It's not exactly a pleasant nursery rhyme, is it, everyone? I don't think you'd be singing that to your kids unless you were trying to scare them to death. That's the National Museum. Big crowd there. You can tell the kids are on vacation, eh? It's a great place to come, Edinburgh. If you've got kids as well, all the museums and galleries and all that are free in Scotland. So it's a great place to come for kids. Oh, I thought that guy was going to get wiped out there. So I hope I've enjoyed the tour, everyone. Has anyone got any questions about Burke and Hare? Excuse me. Look at this beautiful weather we're getting. What are my thoughts on the Edinburgh Fringe? There's nothing Edinburgh about the Edinburgh Fringe. It's a London takeover of Edinburgh. It's all middle class students. There's nothing Edinburgh about the Edinburgh Fringe. In fact, last year was the first time they had a Scottish person at the top. So yeah, and it starts, the Edinburgh Festival doesn't start when the Scottish school holidays start, it starts when the English school holidays start. So what does that tell you? So hope you've enjoyed the tour today, everyone. If you can join me tomorrow, I've got a tour about Mary Queen of Scots. Thursday I've got a surprise location tour. And Friday's Harry Potter. And Saturday is the Leith tour that takes in the Leith market as well, okay? So quite a few tours on this week. So hopefully you can join me or tell your friends. If you could like this video please as well. And if you are not already subscribing to my YouTube channel, yeah, man. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be good. Paul James Stewart Tours. The guy shouting at me in the street. So yeah, you go. I've got a few different tours. The weather forecast is not looking the best, to be honest. The weather forecast for the next sort of week is looking pretty crap, to be fair. So let's hope that whilst I'm going to be doing my tours, it's not too bad. But yeah, the weather forecast is not looking too good. So this is the entrance to the National Museum of Scotland. If you are ever coming up here, is if you are going to go to the museum, just one piece of advice. When you go in, there's maps, floor plans and maps, because it's such a vast building, okay? You need to, my recommendation is get a map. But just as a side note, you know the Chambers Dictionary? The Chambers Dictionary. Oh no, this is the first tour without an ambulance. You heard of the Chambers Dictionary? This is this guy here. William Chambers, Lord Provost of Edinburgh. This is called Chambers Street after him as well. So the Chambers Dictionary. It's another link here. Another guy. So he deserves a statue, this guy. This guy here, right? This guy's name's Playfair. He was an architect and philosopher and so on, right? But one of my friends, he's got a statue. The steps are named after him at the art gallery, the Playfair steps as well. This guy here. But my friend, right, he's more controversial than me, my friend. One of my friends said that he was a notorious paedophile. He would abuse all the little poor people, the poor children in the grass market in the Cowgate area. And I asked him to prove it to me. And I don't know if he saw the message, but he never ever sent me the proof. So it's just a rumour, so I don't know if that is true. But my friend says that he is, he was a notorious paedophile. But I say I have not seen the evidence, so I'm not saying he is, because until I have seen the evidence, I won't say for sure. In fact, just down here actually, this is where Burke was dissected here. See, just up here. This is where Burke was dissected actually. I forgot to show you that. Aye, this is where I walked down here. Aye, this is where he was dissected up here. He was, you know, Calton Hill. Most of you have been on the Edinburgh tours at Calton Hill, where the big St Andrew's house is, the Art Deco building. That used to be the Calton jail, and that's where Burke was hung. But he was dissected here. Right in there. A grisly end, sorry, pal. You got all your old pavement. So there you go, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the tour today. I hope I've made the last hour go past quite fast for you. And please, if you enjoy my tours, if you can leave a tip or a donation, you can do so. Subscribe and like the video. Subscribe to my channel, and have a great day, everyone. So thank you so much for coming with me. Take care. I keep on forgetting it's out there. Turn round. Oh, so yeah, so please like the video. That'd be fantastic, everyone. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll hopefully see some of you tomorrow. Take care and have a great day. What's left of it, everyone.